Up until 2018, I was a performer who danced on stage. Around 2018, we decided that we wanted to archive all my productions. Around that time, a student of Bharatanatyam came up to me and asked me if I could tell a story in 5 minutes. Now, this started Shrikant, my partner in my productions, to think about how this was even feasible. And this was the point that launched us in a very new direction. The first film project was actually not a narrative that was a story. It was just a moment, a capture of a person falling off a cliff, a superstar that descended into a spiral. And aptly so, it was called The Descent.
Gama sa ni re ni sa gama ni sa gama. Gama sa ni re ni sa gama ni sa gama. Gama sa ni re ni sa gama ni sa gama. Gama sa ni re ni sa gama ni sa gama. Mama 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 ma ga re ni 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 ma re ga. Mama 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 ma ga re ni 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 ma re ga. Mama ni ni mama ga re. Mama ni ni mama ga re sa.
Jane's Love Stories of Shadows. This was a stage production. And when I performed it, while it echoed the deep sentiments of a woman, it was less of a love story. And I really believe that our foray into the genre of love stories started with Beyond the Rains. It was a short film and it narrated the journey of a woman in her later years as told through the eyes of a journalist. It wasn't a conventional love story either. Fast forward a few years to our production Ghost of the Lighthouse. Now, this was also not a conventional love story. It was more of an emotional narrative. However, many considered it a love story and it got us a lot of success. By now, we were growing leaps and bounds in our production values. In the Ghost of the Lighthouse, there were 4 characters and one principal character was actually the ocean. We had 4K cameras hovering over the Bay of Bengal, capturing magnificent landscapes and seascapes. The Ghost of the Lighthouse is, in our opinion, more of a social commentary than a conventional love story. And perhaps one day we will make a conventional love story. But for now, this is what we have. While comedy is a favorite genre for all, it is a very difficult genre to write and conceive. We forayed into this genre with two films, Arangetram and Filter Coffee. Arangetram is the first film that really launched us into a very large audience base who started to look forward to films of this genre, and Filter Coffee was our attempt at following suit. Arangetram is a delightful comedy about a middle aged woman who wishes to become a stage performer. Easier said than done, right? But with the help of her family, who rallied around her, conniving methods that were perhaps less than ethical to get her to her dream. Now, in this film is a dance piece that actually takes place within a kitchen. Now, this was incredulous for me to have a 2 by 2 area and to choreograph and perform an entire dance sequence. But Shri was very clear. There were no vistas of Kashmir or dream sequences for this character to dance in. There was just the 2 by 2 floor on which she had to make her performance. A genre in which we are perceived to shine is that of intense dramas. We've made 3 films in this genre: Dvija, Slow Rivers, and Soul Cages. These 3 films are very varied in their themes, from the philosophy of Dvija to the journey of an artist, a superstar in Slow Rivers, to the life of a person after intense loss and the idea of letting go. These films have allowed us to showcase Shri in some of his best writings. Slow Rivers was a very special project. I had to play a character that was very complex, and I got to work with the thespian Ashish Vidyarthi. Now, this project was mounted on a very magnificent scale and budget. It was a vision that the director Shri had to open Slow Rivers with a dancer, the artist, the protagonist, on a white desert holding a red cloth. Now, while this vision itself was beautiful, in order for us to actually create that, the white deserts of Kutch, of Gujarat, to mount a project, a dance scene in that desert was incredibly difficult. And what should have taken just a day eventually took us many months of work by the entire team coming together and making this happen.
Many films I've made are actually women-centric, and it's no accident that it's come out that way. Three people who influenced my life the most happen to be all women: my grandmother, my mother, and my wife. The story of their three lives actually came together in a stage production that we had done called Chains, Love Stories of Shadows. It was a very successful, a very appreciated project in its time. When we moved on to making short films, one part of Chain's Love Story of Shadows was also one part of the trilogy that I was making, and that trilogy was called the Colors Trilogy. The Colors Trilogy was actually based on the three colors of the Indian flag, which is saffron, white, and green. What we were trying to do in this series was seeing the status of the modern Indian woman in conjunction with the ideals that the founding fathers of our country had when the three colors of the flags were chosen. So, as the name explains, it consisted of three parts: colors green, colors white, and colors saffron. Colors green actually came up from one part of what we had done in Chain's Love Stories of Shadows. Now, obviously, all three parts have their own visual effects, their own sensibilities. Green was made with a very realist touch, white with a very poetic touch, and saffron was the intense dystopian one.
From Soul Cages, the stage production, to Soul Cages, the film, we've come a complete circle in our artistic journey. From stage productions to short films that were really short, 8 minutes long to start, to something that nearly extended to 45 minutes, with our last production. We've come a long way, but I think we're now ready for the next stage in our artistic life. What's that going to be? Stay tuned, and you'll find out very soon.